ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic series 1 and 2. We will be now beginning the series of lectures on Srimad Bhagavatam based on different themes. So, this is first of the themes where we will be covering verses 1, 2, 3, which delineate Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. Uh, the definition of the absolute truth, the true religion, and the glories of Bhagavatam are defined in 111, 112, and 113. The second theme, what we will be discussing in this series, is the 6 questions posed by the sages of Naimisharanya. That, in one sense, will cover chapter 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the next thematic series, we will begin the Bhagavad Dharma series, which is in sense the answers to the 6 questions posed by the sages of Naimisharanya. So this is one of the first series. And like that, we will try to cover many themes in the first canto, second canto, third canto, like that. So let us see and how things proceed. So this is first of the series. And in this thematic study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we will be covering the complete Bhaktivedanta purpose. And then we will study Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, and we will draw insights from Jiva Goswami's Krama Sandarbha and from the Shad Sandarbhas also. So that's the whole scheme of how we are going to study the Srimad Bhagavatam thematically. So let us begin today with the first theme. There is an overview of the Srimad Bhagavatam from different angles. Today we will only be discussing from one angle given in the Padma Puran. The entire Bhagavatam is compared to the body of the Lord. And this is the verse. Pado yadiyo pratama dvitiyo. The lotus feet of the Lord, which are two, pado means, dvivachan. It is compared to the lotus feet of the Lord, pratamo dvitiyo, first canto and the second canto. Tritiyo turyo kataito yad uru. And the third and the fourth cantos is the thighs of the Lord. Nabhascha tatpanchamaeva shashto. So the Nabi, the fifth canto, is compared to the navel of the Lord. And the chest is compared to the Shashto, sixth canto. Bhujantardor yugalam tatanyo. And the arms of the Lord. We have two arms. So the seventh and the eighth canto is compared to the arms of the Lord. Kantasturajan navavo yadiyo. The kant, the throat is compared to the ninth canto. Mukharavinda dashamam prapullam. And the beautiful Mukharavinda, dashamam prapullam. Prapullam means it is very beautiful. You become prafullit just by seeing the beautiful face of the Lord. And that is compared to the 10th canto. Mukaram in the Dashamam Prafullam. Ekadaso yasya lalata pattam. The 11th canto is compared to the lalata, the forehead. Shiro pitu dwadasha eva bhati. And the shira, the head, is compared to the 12th canto. And then after comparing the Srimad Bhagavatam to the entire body of the Lord, then what it said? Tammadi devam karuna nidhanam tamal varnam suhirit suhitavartarnam apara samsara samudra setum bhajema bhagavat swarupam. So Tameva Adi Devam Karuna Nidhanam. He is the Adi Deva and he is the ocean of mercy. And his color, Varna, is Tamal Varnam. And he is very pleasing and smiling. Apara Samsara Samudra Setu. So this Bhagavatam is compared to a bridge. And you can cross this bridge of this material existence. The Vedas are compared to the bridge. And this bridge begins from the material world and takes us to the spiritual world. And that's how I worship in the form of the Bhagavata Swarupa. And this is from the Padma Puran. And we have that famous verse which Shukdev Goswami speaks in the second canto of the first verse. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantara ishanukata nirodha mukti ashraya. Atra means in this. Sarga Visarga. So the Sarga and Visarga are discussed in the third and the fourth cantos. Sthanam refers to the geography. The geography, especially the cosmology, is discussed in the fifth canto. And Poshanam means how the Lord protects his devotees, especially the Ajana's pastime is there in the sixth canto. There is the pastime of Indra Chitraketu. So that's all in the sixth canto. Udaya refers to uti or auspicious and inauspicious inclinations, vasanas. So the extreme cases is Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, which is discussed in the seventh canto, first to 10 chapters. And the remaining chapters, that is 11 to 15, how when we can have auspicious vasanas by following Varnashram. That's Narad Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj discussion. So that's in the seventh canto. Manvantara. Manvantara refers to the period where one Manu rules. So in the day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus who rule. So the dynasty of the Manvantars, the Manvantar avatars which appear during that period, and the different devatas which are appointed, all these 6 different categories are there. That is discussed in the 8th canto in detail. And Ishanukata refers to the topics related to the Lord and his devotees, which is described in the 9th canto in detail. And Nirod is discussed as the 4 kind of annihilations, which is discussed in the 12th canto. Although sequentially Nirod comes after Ishanukata, Nirod comes, which should be 10th canto. In one sense, Nirod is also 10th canto, because how there is complete annihilation of the material existence, especially the Ras Panchadhyaya, where the gopis go into complete absorption of Krishna, and they forget, they in fact assume themselves as Krishna. One gopi, uh, climbs on the Kaliya, and I am Krishna, I'm dancing on Kaliya. So like that, Nirod is also said to be 10th canto, but technically, Nirodha is also the 4 kinds of annihilation, which is more dealt in the 12th canto. And Mukti is discussed in the 11th canto. And Ashray is actually the 10th canto. The 10th canto, Ashray, all these 9 topics are discussed just to take us to the 10th topic, that is Ashray. Because these 9 are all taking towards Ashray. So that's how the overview is based on the 10 subjects of the Bhagavatam. Then one might say, what about Canto 1 and 2? Because third to fourth canto is Atra Sarga. Sarga is third and Sarga is fourth. Well, in the first and second canto also, in principle, there is portion of how the Lord protects his devotees, how Uttara is protected, Parikshit Maharaj is protected, all that is there. Sarga and Visarga, in principle, is also discussed in the first and the second cantos. So, like that, all these subjects, the 10 topics, are discussed in the Bhagavatam. They are spread in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But some of the cantos are discussing more in detail one specific topic. So that's why one of the cantos is assigned like that. But in general, all the 10 topics are spread in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's the brief overview of Srimad Bhagavatam based on the Padma Puran and based on the 10 topics. So anyone has any questions? Any questions, any clarifications? Hare Krishna. Yes, Anil Prabhuji, you have a question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for such a nice
1
explanation
second.
for the summary.
Your audio is
Hare
not
Krishna. Am I
functioning.
audible?
Mine as well. Mine is functioning, but yours is not functioning.
Hare Krishna.
Your audio is not functioning, Prabhuji.
Am I audible
Okay.
now?
Any other questions anyone has? Okay, so let's go now to the let's go to the actual first theme. So This is Canto 1, Chapter 1, the questions by the sages. Uh, this is Prabhupada's title, and the questions of the sages at Naimisharanya is Vishwanath Chakravarti. As I mentioned, we will be discussing two themes, the subject, glories, and the goal of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the setting of the scene is actually where the sages welcome Sutta Goswami. Uh, and then the questions is the second theme which we'll be discussing. So the 6 questions. Okay. So this is the overview. The first chapter has 23 verses, and verses 1 to 3, the definition of the absolute truth, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, what is actual religion, and invitation to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his one of his articles on the Bhagavad theology, mentions that these 3 verses speak about Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. So we will see how these 3 verses speak about Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. And then the next 4 to 8 verses is where the sages glorify, welcome Sutta Goswami and glorify him. And then they pose these questions. So verses 9 to 23, the sages will be posing these 6 questions, and we will be seeing that in our thematic study part 2. In part 1, we will be just focusing on these 3 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Now, we all know the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It begins with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is not part of the verse. It is actually an address by Vyasadeva to the absolute truth. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So even if you see in the Gita Press edition of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will not find this Om Namo. It starts with Janma Adasyata. Prabhupada has included that because he is addressing, Vyasadeva is addressing the absolute truth, and along with Vyasadeva, he's including us also to address the absolute truth by Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. So, as I mentioned, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is not part of the verse. So, I have put Prabhupada the translation here, and let us recite this verse. Janmadhyasya tornvayaditaraschaarteshu abhignaswarat tene brahmardah ayadikavaye muyanti yat suraya tejo varim mridam yatha vinamayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimai. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead. So this is the translation of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So this is also part of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I meditate upon Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi. And the primal cause of all causes of creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. Janmadya Yasya Yataha. So creation, Janmadi. Janmadi refers to Janma, creation, and destruction, that is Sambhara, and Palan. So Janma means Adi refers to creation, maintenance, and destruction. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. Anvayad itarastha charteshu abhigna. Anvayad itara. Anvaya means directly and itara means indirectly. And he's abhigya, he's conscious. Charteshu of all the manifestations. And he is independent because there is no other cause behind him. He's Swarat. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge to the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. Tene Brahma Radha Ya Adi Kavaye. So here, Adi Kavaye refers to Brahma, and Brahma here refers to Vedic knowledge. Tene means he himself. The Lord himself the Lord himself imparted Vedic knowledge in the heart of Brahma. Muyanti yat Suraya. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. How? As one is bewildered by the illusionary representations of water seen fire or land seen on water. Tejo varim mridam yata vinamayo yatra trisargo mrisha. It is only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. Prabhupada will explain this in his commentary when we go to that. I therefore meditate upon him. Again, Prabhupada translates Satyam Paramdimi, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in his transcendental abode. Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. I meditate upon him, Satyam Param Dhimai, for he is the absolute truth. So that's Prabhupada's translation of this verse. Okay, so let us now go to the commentary by Srila Prabhupada. Any questions up till now here? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay. So now here in this chart, you can see I have done the analysis of this verse. Srila Prabhupada's translation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Satyam Param Dhimai. I meditate on Vasudevaya, who is the absolute truth. And Dhimai is I meditate upon whom? The absolute truth, who is Vasudeva. Now here in the right side, you can see there are the Tatastha Lakshana, and on the left side are the Swarupa Lakshana. Now, what is the Swarup Lakshana and what is the Tatastha Lakshana? We will immediately look into it now. Now, the Tatastha Lakshana are Janmadi Asyata, from whom creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifestations. Anvayad Itaras, directly and indirectly. Arteshu Abhigna, fully cognizant of all purposes. Swarat, fully independent. Tene Brahma Ridha Ya Adi Kavaye. He imparted knowledge to Brahma. Muyanti at Suraya. Even the great demigods and sages are legend. How? Tejo Varim Mridam Yata Vinamayo. As one is bewildered by the illusionary representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Yatra Trisargo Mrisha. Similarly, only because of him do the material universes, which are manifestation of the three modes, reactions, appear factual. Just like these appear factual, in the mirage, you see the water, it seems that water exists there, but it is not there. It is illusory. Similarly, is the manifestation of the three modes. So all these are the Tatastha Lakshan, and the Swarupa Lakshan is Param Satyam, Dhamna Svena Sadha Nirasta. The absolute truth is, eternally existent in the transcendental abode. So now let us go into what is Swarup Lakshan and what is Tatastha Lakshan. Now, for this, we will go into the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction to Sanatan Goswami in the Sanatan Shiksha, which is there in the Madhya Lila, chapter 20. So, while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing Sanatan Goswami that Bhagavan Sambandha, Bhakti Hoyo Abhidaya, Prema Prayojan. We have to establish our Sambandha with Bhagavan. And who is Bhagavan? Swayam Bhagavan is Krishna, who is Gopavesh. He is called as Swayam Bhagavan. And there are different manifestations. And Mahaprabhu goes into an elaborate analysis of these different manifestations, which are called as Tadaikatma and Tadaikatma and Swayam Prakash. Within Swayam Prakash is Vaibhav Prakash and Vaibhav Swayam Prakash, Vaibhav Prakash, and I'm not able to recollect. It's a very long technical analysis. Tadekatma and then Shaktavesh, Amshas, Shaktavesh. So like that, he goes into a very elaborate analysis, and ultimately he proves that Swayam Bhagwan Gopavesh is, the original form of Godhead. And you can see Prabhupada how meticulously in his purport, although this verse is addressing Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, it is referring to the Vasudev feature of Krishna, but Prabhupada will establish that it is actually Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. He directly addresses him as Krishna. But let us first go into the Swarup Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. What is the meaning of Swarup Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan? Swarupa Lakshan are Tatastha Lakshan. Ei dui Lakshane Vastu Jane Munigan. By two symptoms, personal characteristics, Swarup Lakshan, and marginal characteristics, the great sages can understand an object, Vastu. So the absolute truth is the object of our meditation. And this absolute truth, which is the object, can be understood by two symptoms: his personal characteristics, his marginal characteristics. Now, please remember that here the definitions of Swarup and Tatastha is a little different from what we use in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So here Swarup Lakshan means personal characteristics and Tatastha Lakshan means the marginal characteristics. Okay. Akriti, Prakriti, Swarupa, Swarupa Lakshan, Karya Dwara Jnana, Ei Tatastha Lakshan. Bodily features, nature and form are the personal characteristics. So now Mahaprabhu is defining, what exactly is personal characteristics. Personal characteristics refer to bodily features, nature and form. Knowledge of his activities provide the marginal characteristics. So his activities constitute Tatastha Lakshan. So that's here the definition of what is Swarupa and Tatastha. Now, after we see this, let us go back to that verse and see how that fits into the Swarupa and Tatastha Lakshan. Now Mahaprabhu says, Bhagavatarambe Vyasa Mangala Charane Parmeshwara Nirupila Eidu Lakshana. In the auspicious invocation at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasadeva has described the Supreme Personality of Godhead by these two symptoms. So, in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu is saying that Vyas has described the Swarup and the Tatastha Lakshans and defined the absolute truth. So, let us see. Again, now Mahaprabhu quotes this. Now, you can see again the verse is Janmadyasyata. So, I'll not go through this verse because we have already gone through it. The translation is also the same. Now, let's go to Prabhupada purport. This verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 111 links the Srimad Bhagavatam with the Vedanta Sutra with the word Janmadya Yasya Yata. So Prabhupada is mentioning that this verse links to Vedanta Sutra 111. In fact, the Vedanta Sutra has 700 verses or odd, I think, and one can map these with the Srimad Bhagavatam verses. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, but it's a natural commentary. Means not only the verses or sutras of Vedanta Sutra are explained, but they are elaborated. So you cannot, there are no like only 700 verses in the Bhagavatam. In fact, there are 18,000 verses. So you can map which specific Vedanta Sutra verse is dealt in which verse of the Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada is directly saying that it links to 111. When we study the Vishwanath Chakra Thakur commentary, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur will, in his first explanation, explain how some of the Vedanta Sutra verses are covered in the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That time we'll do an elaborate study. It is stated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, is the absolute truth beyond the material creation. This has been accepted by all acharyas. Even Shankaracharya, the most elevated impersonalist, says in the beginning of his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, Narayana Paro Vyaktat. When this material creation is not yet manifested from the Mahatattva, it is called Avyakta. Here it is Avyakta. So Narayana is existing before the manifestation of this material creation. And when it is demonstrated from that total energy, it is called Vyakta. Vyakta and Avyakta. Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond this Vyakta, Avyakta, manifested and unmanifested material nature. Where in the Gita also Krishna speaks about it, that I am beyond this Vyakta and Avyakta. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Where in the Gita also Krishna speaks about it. That he is beyond the material and yes, Lakshmi Darsiman Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm not sure, but is it at the end of the 8th chapter when he is explaining the...
I'm not able to understand why the audio is not working in my system. It happened also, audio. Yes, full volume here. There is some problem with the setting, I feel. Haribol, you are able to hear now? Lakshmi Narsim Prabhuji?
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Haribol.
Can you hear me?
Still not. There is some setting problem. Maybe you can type it. I will have to look into it. Maybe you can type the answer. Janardhan Prabhuji, if you also know, you can type the answer. No, I'm not able to hear you all. I don't know why my, although the setting is saying that the audio is, no, audio is functioning. Maybe something has gone wrong somewhere. Hare Krishna. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. No, that's not the verse. Lakshmi Narsim Prabhu has rightly pointed out. It is Parastasmat Bhavanya Vyakto Vyakta Sanatana Yahasa Sarveshu Bhuteshu Nashyatsu na vinashyati. So that's the verse. So Prabhupada is quoting that verse, you can say here. He's quoting that verse. So Narayan is beyond Vyakta and Avyakta. This is the chief qualification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he assumes a particular incarnation. Krishna tells Arjuna that although they both took birth many times before, Krishna remembers everything about his previous appearances, but Arjuna does not remember. Bahuni me vetitani janmani tavarjuna. Since Krishna is beyond this, the cosmic creation, he is in the exalted position of being able to remember everything in the past. Everything within the cosmic creation has a material body, but Krishna, being beyond the material cosmic creation, always has a spiritual body. So, because he existed beyond the creation, and it is he who glanced at the creation. So, who is that who glanced at the creation? Because the bodies were not there. That means his body is spiritual. Sadha nirasta kuhakam dhamna svene sadha nirasta kuhakam. Uh, he imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahma. Although Brahma is the most important and exalted personality within this universe, he could not remember what he did in his past life. Krishna had to remind him through the heart. Tene Brahma Rida Adi Kavai. When Lord Brahma was thus inspired, he was able to create the entire universe, the secondary creation. Remembering everything about the past and inspiring Lord Brahma to create are vivid examples of the characteristics called Sarup Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. So Prabhupada is including here both Sarup and Tatastha, but again there is a distinction which Mahaprabhu will do, and that will clarify further. Okay, now in the next verse, Mahaprabhu clarifies. Ei shloke param shabde Krishna nirupan satyam shabde kahe tanra sarupa lakshan. In this invocation from Srimad Bhagavatam, the word param indicates Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the word satyam indicates his personal characteristics. So satyam, param refer to the Swarupa Lakshan, the personal characteristics. Param indicates Krishna and is Satyam. He is truthful. So that's his personal characteristic. So these refer to the Swarupa Lakshan. Vishwa Shrishtyadi Kaila Veda Brahma ke Padela Artha Vigyata Swarupa Shakti Maya Dure Kaila. In that same verse, it is stated that Lord is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of the cosmic manifestation, and that he enabled Lord Brahma to create the universe by infusing him with the knowledge of the Vedas. It is also stated that the Lord has full knowledge, abhigya, directly and indirectly, anvayaditrasta, and he knows past, present, and future. And his personal energy is separate from Maya, the illusory energy. So here in these, these other activities, Vishwa Shrishta Adi Kaila, these refer to his activities. So these activities refer to the Tatastha Lakshan. And Veda Brahma ke Padela, he taught Brahma, he infused knowledge in the heart of Brahma. This is again activity of the Lord. And this is also referring to the Tatastha Lakshan. And Artha Vigyata, these also referring to the Tatastha Lakshan. Aisa Bakarya Tanra Tatastha Lakshan, Anya Avatar Ache Jane Munigan. All these activities are his marginal characteristics. Great saintly persons understand the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the indications of the two characteristics known as Swarupa and Tatastha. All the incarnations of Krishna should be understood in this way. Anya avataracha jane munigan. So all the other incarnations also should be known by their Sarupa and Tatastha Lakshan. So now let's go back to this chart. You can see Param, the absolute truth, and his personal characteristic is Satyam. And Satyam is his personal characteristic. And his form is completely Akriti, is completely spiritual, manifested from the internal potency of the Lord. Dhamna Svena Sara. So these all refer to Sarup Lakshan. And Janmadi as a Anvayaditra, Arteshu Abhigna, Swarata, Tene Brahma, Muyanti, and this external manifestation of this universe is again the Lord uniting with the external energy, the Bhairanga Shakti. So all these refer to the Tatastha Lakshan. They refer to the Tatastha Lakshan. So that's how we understand what is Sarup Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear for everyone. Any questions you have? Again, audio is not working. You will have to type the question if you have. I don't know for what reason this is not working. I'll try to fix it up today. Any questions about Sarup and Tatastha Lakshan? Okay, so let's now go to the commentary. We will begin the commentary today by Srila Prabhupada. We will try to cover some portion of the commentary. Okay, commentary to 111 by Srila Prabhupada. Now I am going line by line. So you can also, when you study your Bhagavatam, you can go through it. In the first paragraph, Prabhupada speaks about Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Prabhupada elaborates on this. Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Vasudeva directly indicate Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So here Prabhupada is mentioning it is directly indicating Krishna. This fact will be more explicitly explained later in the text of this work when Sri Vyasadeva directly asserts that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portions or portions of the portions. So, Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Indradi Vyakulam Lokam, Mridayante Yuge Yuge. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So, Vyasadeva will explicitly state that in the first canto, second chapter, it will come up. Sorry, in the third chapter, it will come up. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha. So Prabhupada, his first three statements, he's proving that Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya directly indicates Lord Sri Krishna. First, he is giving this, and then second, he is substantiating from the Bhagavatam. Third, he is giving a reference from the Krishna Sandarbha of Jiva Goswami. So there is the Tattva Sandarbha, which is one of the Sandarbhas. There is the Bhagavat Sandarbha, there is the Paramatma Sandarbha, and the fourth Sandarbha is the Krishna Sandarbha, where Jiva Goswami will establish how Krishna is the absolute truth. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada is directly quoting our Siddhanta Acharya, Jiva Goswami. And Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigra, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So Prabhupada is giving now a third reference, a third proof from the Brahma Samhita. In an Upanishads in the Samveda, it is also stated that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Now, which Upanishads do you think is Prabhupada is now quoting? Now, Prabhupada is quoting from the Shrutis, again to establish Lord Sri Krishna as a, absolute personality of Godhead. Now, anyone knows which Upanishads Prabhupada is here referring? They can type the statement, type here in the chat box. Which Upanishads is Prabhupada speaking here? And Lakshmi Narasimhan Prabhu has answered correctly. It is Gopal Tapani Upanishads because it deals with Lord Gopal and Golok Vrindavan. Therefore, in this prayer, the first proposition holds that Lord Sri Krishna is the primeval Lord. And if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means all attractive. So Prabhupada, after quoting Bhagavatam, Sandarbha, Brahma Samhita, Gopal Upanishads, he concludes here, therefore, if there is any nomenclature which is for the Param, it is Krishna. Because Krishna means all attractive. That is again from the etymological sense. In the Bhagavad Gita, in many places, Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead. And this is confirmed by Arjuna, who also cites great sages like Narada, Vyasa, and many others. Now Prabhupada is quoting from the Bhagavad Gita, 10.12 to 10.14, Sarva Vedanta, Param Dhama, that was, let me open it, 10.12. Yeah, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Param Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajamum, Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve, Devarishis, Narasasata. So Prabhupada is quoting this now. And many other places, Aham Sarvasya Pro, Matta Paratam Nanyat, 7.7. So there are many references. In the Padma Puran, it is also stated that out of the innumerable names of Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. So there is the name of Lord Ram, there is Vishnu, but the supreme is Krishna. Although now Prabhupada says, the name Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and although all the different forms of the Lord being identical with Vasudeva are thus indicated in this text, the name Vasudev particularly indicates Krishna, the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Now here Prabhupada is making it still more emphatic and clear, because Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And this Vasudevaya is what? Is a plenary portion. So although the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead is indicated, and all these are non-different from the Lord, so in that sense, it is actually particularly indicating the name Krishna. Shri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramahamsas, who are the perfected ones among those in the renounced order of life. Satyam Param Dhimahi. Okay, so this is paragraph 1. Any questions on paragraph 1? You can type here Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhu because the audio is not working for some reason. You can type. Maybe you try once again and speak. Let us see. I've Try another.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Can you speak?
Can you hear
Haribol?
me? Hare Krishna.
No, still it is not working. Okay, you can type. Uh, how is Vasudev here mentioning Krishna as per the previous paragraphs? Again, it is Vasudev, not Vasudeva. So Prabhupada is explaining. If you hear the explanation of Prabhupada, it's very clear. Now, all plenary portions of the Lord are non-different from the Lord because ultimately they emanate from the Lord. So in one sense, they are non-different from the Lord. So although here it is indicating Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and Prabhupada is giving the explanation very clearly that although all the different forms of the Lord being identical with Vasudev are thus indicated, but here Vasudev particularly indicates Krishna because he appeared as the son of Vasudev. So that is why it is directly indicating Krishna. So that is the explanation Prabhupada has given. I hope it is clear. Yes or no? Okay, any other questions anyone has? So we will now go slowly, purport by purport, line by line, and try to understand the Bhaktivedanta purports. And then we will cover Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's explanation. And then we will look into some insights from Jiva Goswami on verse 1. Not in detail, some insights we will look into. So today we'll stop here, and paragraph 2 onwards we will continue tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.